Today we're talking about the midsize truck segment. Labor Day has gone, and now we're just kind of heading into these September deals, and all the way really through January, we're going to see deals on midsize trucks. But I also wanted to talk about the reliability of the midsize trucks. I actually think that the midsize segment might be slightly more reliable than maybe the half-ton segment, and I'm going to tell you why I believe that. So far, all of these midsize trucks have had a pretty good track record. We're going to talk about every deal that you can get on pretty much every brand, and then I'll discuss reliability at the end. All right, let's start out with the Toyota Tacoma here. They actually have a lot of different deals, leases, and financing options. So the 2025 SR5s, they're coming in at about $250 a month for a 24-month or 36-month lease. I think it's $279 a month for the 36-month lease, 12,000 miles a year, and they want $39.99 down. Not a terrible lease value. I think this is what a lot of people are doing and why you're seeing this huge boost in sales numbers with the Toyotas. And the TRD off-road is coming in at like $359 a month for that same lease. And like I said, financing, they're offering 2.99% for 48 months or 3.99% for 60 months. So they are definitely trying to push Tacomas. And I know a lot of other YouTubers say, oh gosh, they're sitting on lots. It's lot rot. They aren't selling. They are actually selling a ton of Tacomas. They're selling a ton of them. They're definitely outpacing every other manufacturer with the Tacomas. And we'll talk about reliability here shortly, but not a lot of problems with them either. Next up is the Chevy Colorado GMC Canyon. They're not offering a lot of great deals on these trucks right now. I was surprised. They got like a $399 a month lease for the work truck. Not great deals. I was surprised because they got about 15,000 of these for sale across the country, but they do tend to be a little bit less per trim level. Like if you're comparing this to a Tacoma, you could get like a Trail Boss for $33,000 down in Florida, four-wheel drive, where that's a little tougher to find in the Tacoma. If you're talking like TRD off-road package. Part of that is the longevity, the reliability that they've been having with these Colorados and Canyons. Probably their best engine right now. I know people are going to hate on it, but the four-banger is, 430 foot-pounds of torque. It's actually almost class-leading unless you include the hybrid from Toyota. And you can still find some deals like 1.99% for 36 months on 2024s, but not the 2025s. Now, if you're looking to make a long-term purchase, I would go with the Frontier, naturally aspirated, no turbo. You're not going to have a lot of creeping issues. Yeah, maybe they are a little antiquated with maybe the way they drive or the way they feel. People complain about things not feeling as up to date. But if you're keeping something like 10, 15 years, I would trust this truck more so than I would a lot of the other trucks, and I think it would hold up really well. 2025s are coming in, I think it's 1.9% for 60 months. That's a really good deal. The 2026s, probably not going to find as good of deals on those. But there's a lot of 25s left on the lot, and that's where you're going to find right now the best deals. Next up is the Ford Ranger. A lot of people do like the Ranger. I've had pretty good luck with it. They were a little late to the party last year. I know it took a long time to get stock, but they are offering some lease deals right now. You can get, I think it's $269 a month for 36 months on the Ranger. That's their red carpet deal. $369 a month for 36 months. If you do the 2025 XLT is $369 for 36 months. The $269 for 36 months is on the XL trim level only. So not great deals on the Ranger. You can get $2,000 retail cash back on the 2025s on the XL and XLT, but it almost seems like these manufacturers, some of them like Chevy, Ford, it's like they don't feel the need. Maybe they've sold enough of them. They feel like sales numbers are good. They're making good profit on them. Maybe they don't feel like they need to give great APR deals right now. Ford's APR deal, last time I saw it was like 6 or 7%, so not great, but you might be able to find better local deals. Sometimes varying by state, you can get a little bit better deal depending on your location. Now, next up is the Ridgeline. I know a lot of people really like the Ridgeline. 0.99% for 24 to 60 months and also 1.99% for up to 72 months, which is pretty decent price. I know it's just a unibody. A lot of people say, well, it's not a real truck. It actually is quite capable, pretty large on the inside, and a lot of people like it. The downside is, about 4 or 5 years ago, Honda did have those issues with their 3.5 V6 and spinning rod bearings. So that's kind of looming a little bit in the back of your head. It's like, just because it's a non-turbo engine doesn't mean that it's going to be more reliable all the time, but in most cases, Honda's had very good luck with this 3.5 2.5. So hopefully reliability will continue on this one. So yeah, really the Ridgeline, as far as APR is concerned, not lease deals, I think the Ridgeline's probably got one of the best deals as far as APR so far. Now I'm going to run through NHTSA complaints really quick. The Toyota Tacoma, this is a 24, 101 complaints, 2 recalls. And it's always healthy to keep in mind how many they sold. So in Toyota's case, they have 101 complaints, but I believe they sold over 200,000 or close to 200,000. I think this year, 2025, you have to look at the number of sales and vehicles on the road versus how many complaints. It's always a ratio, in my opinion. Now, moving on to the Nissan Frontier, they have 3 recalls, only 10 complaints. Of course, the Frontier has sold, a lot fewer units than the Tacoma. However, having only 10 complaints here, and from what I see in the forums, it does kind of reflect this. The Frontier's platform has been out a lot longer than the Tacoma. 2024 was the first year of the Tacoma, so you're gonna see a lot more complaints of just nitpicky things, stuff that they haven't worked out on the Toyota side. People still love them. They're not leaving people stranded, but it's just they're going to work through these kinks for the next 3 or 4 years on the Toyota side. Whereas the Nissan side, it's been out for a while, years and years. It was an iterative platform, and the 3.8 and the new transmission were really the big changes in this model. From Nissan side, they just seem to have a really solid truck, and it's not super fancy, but people really like it for reliability, and that's one of the biggest reasons why people buy it. Now, the Ford Ranger, they've got 8 recalls and 33 complaints, and they did not sell all that many 2024 Ford Rangers. So on the Ford side, they've had quality control issues for a couple of years now, whether it's F-150s or whatever. They're leading in recalls. They are just struggling to build, just quality controlled vehicles. They've got brake problems, headlight problems, backup camera problems. They just have all sorts of things. And I think a lot of it has to do with so many different configurations. They're just such a big company, and they need to slim down the amount of configurations they have and actually just perform good quality control on them. Still not terrible, and it's not like they're having massive catastrophic failures. I just think compared to some of the other brands, they've been struggling with the details. And the Ridgeline, believe it or not, they've got 1 recall, 1 investigation, 29 complaints. They're about, similar to the Nissan Frontier. I think they sell a little more than the Frontier sells. On the Honda side, they're pretty reliable powertrain-wise, but they're still having a more complaints than what you would expect from Honda. So, all these manufacturers since 2020 have been struggling to build vehicles that people don't complain about, whether it's software glitching or sensors or electronic issues. It's always something. And this might be a little controversial, but in my opinion, the mid-sized segment, all the mid-sized trucks seem to be more reliable on average than what I see in the half-ton segment. And I think it's due to a couple different things. I think one is you have fewer configurations, especially with the powertrains. You generally have like 1 powertrain available in the Colorado, right? You've got a 2.7 liter, one of their most reliable engines. It's a straight 4-cylinder turbo. Been reliable. It's been out for 5 or 6 years now, and they just aren't having any problems with it. The Tacoma, they have a 4-cylinder turbo, and they haven't had any problems with it yet, really. I mean, they've had a couple reported failures, but nothing that's concerning, not like the Tundra. So you look at these platforms, and a big part of it to me is when you have a straight 4-cylinder with a single turbo, single intercooler, a lot of the complexity drops down. You have fewer injectors, you don't have as much tubing and piping, a simpler water pump system, simpler to work on. Everything's simpler to replace, even a single turbo. Let's say you get to 120,000 miles. A single turbo is a lot easier pill to swallow than a twin turbo where you have to maybe do a cab off repair or something. So I do think that there is a slight advantage to some of these mid-sized trucks. They haven't had as many transmission problems. And again, I think a lot of this is due to the half-ton segment. When you look at a lot of people online, I see say, oh, I want more engine options, more configuration. Well, I don't want that, man. I want slim the powertrain options down to where offer 1 good engine, 1 good transmission, and actually make it work. I think that's what you're starting to see in the mid-size segment, and why maybe they're just having a little bit better reliability than what you see in the half tons. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. You know, the reason why I do these videos, I know a lot of people say, well, why do you say don't buy a new car, but then you do these new car videos? It's because I understand that people are going to buy these trucks anyway, regardless of what I say. So I figure I might as well do videos to show them, hey, you can get a better deal. If they're offering deals on Labor Day or September and they're not going to offer deals down the road, I'd rather see someone get 0% for something than do an 84-month loan at 6%. So I'd rather you save your money. I'd rather everyone get used vehicles if they could, but used vehicles are becoming very difficult to find. A perfect example is the Toyota Tundra, the second gen. Boy, you can't find those for a good deal anymore because, well, people want reliable old vehicles that don't cost $50,000. But the price has gone up so much in those, it's actually becoming like less of a bargain than it used to be, where you have to factor in, like, gosh, if I'm spending 40 grand on a used truck that's out of warranty, I could get a brand new one under warranty. And yeah, what good is the warranty if they're not gonna, have the parts on hand? But in a lot of these cases, in general, if you look at the number of sales they have, especially in the midsize segment, they're doing really well with failure rates compared to a lot of the larger powertrains. Thanks for watching. Till next time.